The number of new drug abusers under 20 years old who were arrested last year rose by 30% compared to 2023. The youngest offender was just 13. The Central Narcotics Bureau says the increase is a worrying trend amid a worsening global drug situation as more countries struggle against an overwhelming supply of drugs. Here's a closer look at the latest statistics. The number of new drug abusers arrested last year rose to 966 last year. More than half were aged below 30. But the number of repeat offenders fell last year to about 2,150. That's a drop of 1% from the year before. Overall, the number of people arrested for abusing drugs also dipped to 3,119 last year. About 1 in 5 consumed more than one type of drug. In all, the drugs seized were estimated to have a street value of about 13.5 million Singapore dollars. The Central Narcotics Bureau also smashed 25 drug syndicates last year, and these included those using messaging app Telegram to peddle drugs to young people. The 3 most commonly abused drugs were methamphetamine or ice, as well as heroin and cannabis. Almost all drug abusers were arrested for abusing at least one of these substances.
We find that over 90% of the youth, if they are engaged by their parents and talk about drug issues, they will be more deterred from trying drugs. So we want to encourage parents to pay greater attention to their children and to engage them in meaningful conversation about drugs so that they can influence them to stay drug-free.
And for more analysis on the trends and the preventive work being done on the ground, we are joined by Tan Chong Huat, Chairman of the National Council Against Drug Abuse, and Hans Ng, Head of Preventive Drug Education at the Singapore Anti-Narcotics Association. Welcome to the program. Mr. Tan, let's start with you. We just saw the trends in the report. Do you find any of them surprising or expected, given the continuous increase in youth drug abuse?
So the trends are quite concerning, but not entirely unexpected. So our findings from our survey conducted in 2029. This is our annual National Drug Perception Survey. It revealed that the youth are more permissive towards drugs. And in that survey, we found that 90% of youth respondents felt that drugs should remain illegal, while 96% of adult respondents felt that drug abuse should remain illegal. So all these figures reinforce the urgency that we should strengthen our efforts in preventive drug education and outreach, particularly in countering misconceptions that certain drugs such as cannabis are harmless.
All right, we were talking there about the trends in the report. Mr. Tan, you were saying they were concerning but not quite unexpected. Mr. Ng, let's bring you in here. What is SANA doing to address the increasing number of youths abusing drugs? Is there a way to nip the problem in the bud before it even begins?
In SANA, we take a proactive approach to addressing youth drug abuse through our preventive education, our outreach, and also our interventions program. So there are some key initiatives that we have, like, for example, our drug awareness school talks, which is conducted in schools to raise awareness about the dangers of substance abuse. So we also work closely with student leaders to conduct the sessions together with us by setting up exhibition booths to engage their peers. We also have a person in recovery to share their real life stories and their recovery journey to the youth. So besides that, we also have platforms like the SANA Badge Scheme program, whereby we equip our uniform group students with the skills to influence their peers positively and stay drug-free.
Mr. Tan,
so to prevent all this drug abuse,
Mr. Ng, continue, please.
So to prevent drug abuse from begin, SANA actually focus on building resilience, self-esteem, and even decision-making skills in youth so that they will not be affected by peer pressures itself.
Okay, we are curious, Mr. Tan, what might be the reasons driving the increase in youth drug abuse specifically?
I would say that there are several factors. The main ones will be the pro-drug narrative and also changing social attitudes. What we see right now is the social media giving information or misinformation about drugs or drug abuse. It's now becoming very prevalent. And these views then are gathered and become an echo chamber. So youth cannot access or are confused with the information out there. So from all these results, it's very clear to us that we need to have sustained education to ensure that our youth understand the risks associated with the consumption of drugs. And what is more important is that I think we need to build a common narrative around the drug-free vision for the next generation.
So it is the information that they perceive on social media. If we do know the reasons, then how does that help in the way we design policies to solve this issue?
Okay, I think if we know the precise data and where are the evidence-based facts, then what we could do is that we can then design preventive drug education with our stakeholders, our communities, to actually target and provide right information to our youth. I think that is very important.
All right. And Mr. Ng, we also understand that SANA uses the experiences of persons in recovery to help youths and other recovering abusers. Are such first-hand experiences effective or impactful?
Yes, definitely. The first-hand experience from the person in recoveries are highly effective in engaging youth based on our experience and also other recovering individuals. So youth often respond better to real-life stories than facts or statistics alone. Hearing from someone who has lived through drug addictions makes the dangers of drug abuse more tangible. So even our peer person in recoveries also share their personal struggles, their regrets, and consequences they face, making the message hit home in ways that traditional lectures may not.
Beyond schools and families playing a role to deter youths from trying drugs, what else can be done to help them?
Okay, a community-wide approach is essential to deter youth from trying drugs. So what we do is that we believe that we can equip youth leaders or influencers with the right knowledge to advocate for a drug-free lifestyles among their peers. So, or even engage uniform groups or CCAs in schools to strengthen drug education within the students group, where positive peer influence is strong within, and they can share the message to their loved ones and their friends.
And Mr. Tan, before we go, what other trends are being observed when it comes to drug abuse?
I think a worrying trend right now is that youth perceive cannabis as a less harmful or less addictive drug. And I think the numbers have shown, and I think what we need to do right now is to really up the ante to ensure that we provide the right resources for parents and youth so that they don't get the misinformation that cannabis is a less harmful drug.
How confident are you that this trend will change in the coming year or in the years to come?
I think most likely will change and even deteriorate because if you can see right now, we have a case whereby we have countries that actually legalize the use of cannabis. And in our survey in 2023, the youth respondents that felt that the use of cannabis should remain illegal is about 79%, as opposed to 90% of youth that thinks that drugs should remain illegal. So I think the trend is there, and I think it will get worse.
All right, I appreciate your insights. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Tan Chong Huat there, Chairman of National Council Against Drug Abuse, and Hans Ng, Head of Preventive Drug Education at the Singapore Anti-Narcotics Association.